Hi, One Best Your Sports Picks. He's Mike Brenner. I'm Peter Loshak. We are the Odds Couple. This is the NBA Odds Couple show for Thursday, March 30th. Of course, every Thursday we welcome Al McMordie from BigAl.com, who gives us great insights. Al McMordie, legend in the industry. He hates it when I say that, but it's true. But most importantly, Al McMordie gives us great insights on the games every day and has a profitable record long term. The last two things I said are accurate, right, Al?
Sure, that's very accurate.
No, he's not a legend. I take it back. I take that back. All right, but we got some interesting stuff tonight on the card for Thursday. Let's get Al's take on it because the first question: Cleveland, bounce back or not? We did see some. We have seen some live movement since we discussed this in the morning show. It's actually now at the Chris books down to 5. So I don't know. My sense is that I guess a 10-foot pole game. But if you gave me a free bet on it, I probably would take Cleveland for a bounce back. But I don't know. What do you think Al's going to say here?
I'm not really sure of his breakdown. I know what I'm going to say, though, Pistol
All right,
Pete.
well, let's get to Al and then see what you say, Mike Brenner. Al McMordie, bounce back for Cleveland or not?
I think a huge bounce back for Cleveland.
Yeah, go.
Interestingly, Cleveland's lost all 3 meetings to the Chicago Bulls this season. But if you look at LeBron James' career, going all the way back to his first stint with the Cleveland Cavaliers, his teams have been terrific when playing with triple revenge from 3 losses suffered earlier in the season. His teams are 10-1 against the spread in that role. I really like Cleveland to bounce back in a big way against Chicago today.
Even though they've lost 5 out of the last 6 ATS and just kind of look tired and sluggish, that doesn't matter to you at all?
Well, I also think it's a circle the wagons game. I mean, with all the negative attention given to Cleveland since that blowout loss to San Antonio, I just think they're going to come out with a real, sense of desperation tonight.
Yeah.
I think they're going to come to play hard. I think they're going to win.
All right. Well, the last time that they were in that spot, I actually had one of my rare winning nights in the NBA where I called it. And I don't know, Mike Brenner, what do you think?
I think Al's absolutely right, and I also knew that the triple revenge factor, and LeBron has that. He's got a little neck injury, he took an elbow to the neck last time out, but that is totally going to be overshadowed by emotion and momentum. This team has no choice, and trust me, they are watching exactly what Golden State's doing without one of their key players, Kevin Durant, and Golden State is finding that cohesiveness, and Cleveland better get on that damn train right away. If not, it's just, it's hard enough to repeat as it is, all right, but they better dig deep. And I think they can get it done against the Bulls. I think Al's right. This is one they're going to come out early and often. I'm going to pull the trigger, Pistol Pete, on the first half and the full game.
Full game again. The Chris books are now down to 5, so we can give you -5, -110, and the first half -2.5, -105. And Al McMordie, you're adding the Cavs -5 officially?
Officially, sure.
Okay. Okay, great. Sure.
It's official.
All right, then we have another interesting game, Houston and Portland. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Houston is locked into the 3rd spot in the playoffs. They are coming off a loss, and with Harden banged up a little bit, and Portland, of course, covered 7 out of their last 8. I'm not sure if this counts as a bounce-back spot for Houston, although the line from this morning, it was -1. Now it's up to 1.5 or 2, so some money has come in on Houston. I'm just not sure with their playoff spot secured and Harden a little bit banged up and Portland playing so well if Houston's a good bet here. What do you think, Al?
I actually like Houston. For me, it's more of a play against Portland. Portland had one of its biggest wins, if not the biggest win of the season the other night when they defeated Denver 122-113. And one of the things I like to do is go against teams off high-scoring wins if they're also off back-to-back wins and their opponent is off a loss. And that's the situation tonight. Those teams, after scoring more than 116 points in their previous game off back-to-back wins, those teams are now 44-83 against the spread versus opponents off a loss in that team's previous game. So I'm going to take, Houston minus the 1.5 or 2 points here.
All right, -1.5, -110. What do you think about that one, Mike Brenner?
Well, Al brought up a really good point, and it was not only a big win for Portland, but it was an emotional win, all right? Joseph Nurkic was going against the team for the first time that sat him on the bench, and the big theme was from the bench to the playoffs, and that kid had the game of his life, 33 points, 16 rebounds. They said he had it circled the day he was acquired. I think that emotion, man, they might have drained some emotion there. Al may be onto something, but what does kind of concern me is that Houston, I don't believe that they can juggle for any better positioning, and I think they realize they better get healthy. You don't want Harden banged up. You already got Ryan Anderson down. I don't know. This is one, when I look at it, I think there's just too many factors that could go either way. I'm off myself, but I think Al's got a really good point.
Okay.
I think the emotional win might drain them as well.
All right, fair enough. Mike Brenner, what other picks would you like to share with us today?
Okay, well, I'm going to get started with this one then, buddy. I love it. I want to turn to the L.A. Clippers. I had them yesterday on the. I know they weren't official picks because you weren't here, but I went 2-2. They were one of my winners. They're also at a spot where they've got to pick up the steam and get consistent. Last night, I don't know if it was a historic record, but their big four, the core four, all had 20 points or more. They really started shooting pretty sharp, and I think they go into Phoenix, which is a mess. And from what I'm hearing, Devin Booker's not going to be playing again tonight. That's going to hurt them. This is a team that's tanked and is done. You got the coach shutting down Tyler Chandler. So I'm going to pull the trigger. Clippers need to pick up the momentum. First half of the full game, Pistol.
All right, well, it opened at 11. Now it's down to 9.5 or 10. So we can give you minus 9.5, minus 110. And the first half, we can give you a minus 5.5, minus 105. Let's see if Al McMordie agrees with that. Something tells me he disagrees with it, possibly very strongly.
Not strongly, but I do disagree with it. I think the Clippers are in a tough spot, and I think the line's inflated. LA had to play last night. The Suns were rested following their loss at Atlanta on Tuesday. That was actually Phoenix's 9th straight loss. But teams that have lost 8 or more in a row and are rested and playing an opponent not off back-to-back wins, those teams are 124 and 96 against the spread. Also, Phoenix has been historically very good when playing unrested foes off a win. That's the situation here against the Clippers tonight. Phoenix is 96 and 52 against the spread if Phoenix was not favored by 8 or more points in that situation. I just think the line's way too high for this Clippers.
All right, so should we add this to your official record in this show?
We'll make it official.
All right, plus 10, minus 110. We got a head-to-head, Mike Brenner.
No doubt, head-to-head. We went head-to-head last week with Brooklyn. I got lucky and pulled that one off. But here's the thing, and what Al said, it makes sense. Numbers don't lie. Had Clippers been playing really, really strong ball consistently for a while, I would absolutely agree. But they can't take the pedal off the metal because they are finding out that they got to learn how to win back-to-back consistently, play mistake-free ball with everybody contributing. And I just think tonight they're going to make that statement. Now, if Devin Booker was 100% healthy, hell no, because that kid's lighting it up. But without him, there's just not a whole hell of a lot in that lineup that scares anybody. And they got like 6 players already that are banged up. They got a couple questionable. I got a feeling, by God, I'm going to take this head-to-head.
Okay, all right. We shall see. Let's talk about the Brooklyn because they are playing tonight. Of course, Detroit did get a cover in their last game, but in general, they've been a team that's kind of a mess. I was thinking that Brooklyn might be worth a shot at plus 6. It initially went down to about 5.5, but now it's up to a 6.5 at some places market-wide. I also kind of like the under on the opener at 213, and now it's down to about 211.5 or 211. So I'm thinking you combine those two, take maybe the Detroit team total under at 109. Al McMordie, what do you have to say about Brooklyn-Detroit?
Well, I think this is a classic example of a trap situation. Of course, Brooklyn's playing really well, 9-4 ATS their last 13. Detroit's looking like crap right now. They've, lost 5 in a row. But when you take a look at bad teams like Detroit off 5 or more losses, if the team has a 454 or worse win percentage, those teams are 85 and 64 ATS going back to 91 when favored by more than 5 points. Also, Detroit's been terrific as a home favorite of 4 or more points, 35 and 15 with a push their last 51. I think this is a great situation to step in and actually take Detroit and lay the points.
Okay, you want to make that one official, minus 6?
I do.
Wow, okay. Slightly surprising, but I definitely trust that.
And you know what, though? There's something that happened in the last game for Detroit because, this is just a bad team. I've already heard Van Gundy. He's not going to be back. What happened, they were playing Miami, had a chance to gain a game on them because they're fighting for that spot, and there was a last-second tip-in by Whiteside that won the game. I think emotionally after that, I don't know if Detroit's got enough in the tank, and I think Brooklyn, because of Lopez alone, who is just leading that team to say, hey, we're still playing all the way until the end, until they blow the final buzzer. All right, I really think, excuse me, Pete, I really think Brooklyn might come out here. This game kind of scares me because, now, had Detroit won the last game, I'd say yes, but they're at home. They need to win. They're bummed out because of that last-second tip. Some teams bounce back from that, some don't. I don't see this core being able to bounce back.
All right, do you have any other picks for us, Mike Brenner?
I do. I want to talk about the T-Wolves, all right? They're against the Lakers. You got a revenge game, all right? They lost 130 to 119 last week in L.A., all right? They finally snapped this losing streak that they had finally turned a corner and then lost 6 in a row. They won their last time out. I think they've got no choice because there's still a slight heartbeat. And if they can win 5 out of the last, I forget what this, they have to win a certain amount. They can get it done. I think Thibodeau's going to take advantage of a banged-up L.A. team, and I think they go and they absolutely get the win at home. They're at home. First half and the first quarter is where I want to go with T-Wolves.
With T-Wolves, the first quarter will be a big line here, -4, -105.
Okay, I love that. Yes, I do.
And then the first half, -6.5,
I love
-111.
Yep.
Al McMordie, you disagree with this as well?
No, I agree with the full game. I like Minnesota minus the points, and that was a 6-game homestand for the Lakers, and the only game they won on that 6-game homestand was that overtime win against those Timberwolves. And Los Angeles has been awful the last few years when playing on the road off back-to-back home games. I think they're 8-25 their last 33. They're 1-11 their last 12 against the spread in that role. I think Minnesota just rolls them. I'm going to take the Timberwolves minus the points.
Okay, minus 10.5, minus 105. That's nice to hear. Mike Brenner, is that it for you?
No, I got a 3-team, 6-point teaser to wrap it up, baby, and I like it. I'm going to give me some Cleveland on that.
Okay, that'll put you at plus a half.
Okay, and Clippers?
Minus 3.5.
I love that, and the Brooklyn Nets.
Okay, that'll put you at plus 12.5.
That's a lot of
McMordie,
points.
do you have any other picks that you'd like to share with us?
No, but I think a 2-team teaser with Cleveland and the Detroit Pistons would be interesting.
I
With
like
Detroit.
it. Here comes
Okay,
out with
all
the
right.
teasers, baby. I love it.
All right, and I will. I'll throw on 2 totals. I was leaning towards.
What the hell?
I was leaning under in the Detroit-Brooklyn game. Now I'll have to take a 211.5, but I'll take that one. And I will also take the over in Cleveland-Chicago at 211. I was leaning over on that one as well. Chicago's been a big under trend around the year, but recently they've been trending more over, and I think that this one probably a 50 somewhat. 2, 3, 4% chance of going over. All right, Al McMordie from BigAl.com. That is your website for anyone who wants to know more about you. What can they find there?
Well, right now they can find our one and only 5-star college basketball game of the year, and it actually goes Friday. It's not a Saturday game in the Final Four. It goes earlier than that. It goes Friday in one of those minor tournaments. It's my biggest play of the entire season. It's out of 2 angles that are 31-0 ATS combined, and that's my 5-star college basketball game of the year. And then if folks want to get complimentary selections every day, they can go to our website and click on free picks. We have 4 free picks every day, 2 for myself, 1 from Larry Ness, and 1 from Scott Spreitzer. Just go to bigal.com.
All right. Thanks, Al. Talk to you again very soon.
Hey,
Thanks,
before we
guys.
wrap it all up, though, I want to let the viewers know to, click that subscribe button and hit the like button also because, we love doing these videos. And there's going to be a viewing party at SBR this weekend, all right, for the March Madness Final Four on Saturday. So make sure you check that out on social media. Big Al, have a great day and have a great weekend.
Well, this episode of The Odds Couple is over. But if you give us a like and click SBR's logo at the bottom of the screen to subscribe, then you'll get all the upcoming videos as soon as they come out. And don't forget to take advantage of our website. There's free picks, live betting lines, and sportsbook reviews and ratings guides, and a whole lot more. Check it out now.